How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of EastAsiaSoft, welcome to today's stream. Today is Sunday, which means that it's time for me to continue my playthrough of True Colors, A Date with Deception. Hi, Dim. So, last week we ended on having to make a choice. So, boy, if you're just now watching this with zero context, I am sorry, you are going to be very, very lost. You have a guessing game for me again, okay? We have to admit to Ash what it is that we're most afraid of in this situation. Ash has invited the whole office to a get-together and has not invited Idiot Skull, which is me. What shiny did you catch? Sword, one of the rarest. It's not from Dynamax. Sword specifically. Is it from the DLC? So, man, this is like, one of these is the right answer, and I have no idea knowing which one. So, is it our lack of control that we're most afraid of, or your lack of certainty? It's from the DLC, it's not a version exclusive. Okay. Is it from Isle of Armor, or is it from the Crown Tundra? Hi, Borealis. Oh boy, it's from Crown Tundra, so I'm going to guess Regieleki or Regidrago. I'm leaning towards picking my lack of control because that's admitting something really, really heavy. That it's my lack of control over the situation that I am most concerned about. And I think that being able to admit that is a huge step in the direction of being able to become a bit more normal. Oh, all right, let's go. The lack of certainty might come across as more, I don't know. I've been thinking about this all week and I'm still not entirely sure. It bugs me to know that one of these is the right answer and one of them isn't. Oh wow, that was fast. I am going to pick my lack of control for this reason. I think that it takes a lot more to be able to admit something like that. I think that it is a lot harder to admit when you feel uncomfortable not being in full control of the situation. And being able to admit that out loud to Ash is probably a huge step. That's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with it. And we're going to find out if this was right or wrong sometime in the future. Again, if you guys are just now tuning in with zero context, you're going to be really, really confused. It's probably the fact that if I'm not with you, I have no idea what's going on between you and other people. I feel like I have no control over the situation because I'm not there to stop anything bad from happening, and that always ends up driving me insane. The admission makes me feel like crap, but I know it's true. Oh, which game is that, Dim? I found out today that I'm only 15 games away from completing my Wii U collection. I have 150 out of 165. I'm very excited. And once that paranoia sets in, then I snap and do something horrible to my partner. Like secretly following them around, blowing up their phone with constant pleas for information, or straight up banning them from seeing people. Graveyard Keeper. Never heard of it. Just the fact that I can't be sure is torture, and it feels impossible to ignore.
That's not...
That makes sense, but... Please tell me I picked right. Please tell me I picked right. Borealis, don't spoil this for me. I don't want to know if I got it right yet. Did I get it wrong? Ash's voice grows heavy with disappointment.
You don't get it.
You don't need to be in control of the situation, do you? You're not meant to keep me on a leash wherever I go. No spoilers. Good. Although I can already tell you're either nodding contentedly or bashing your head on the keyboard. There's no in between. A ripple of anxiety courses through me as they say this. It makes me sound like the exact kind of villain I don't want to be. No, of course I'm not. I get that. I'm not sure how to put my thoughts into words. Ash continues in my place.
I think it's important.
I think you need to remember where your priorities should be. You want to create real trust, right? Having control over everything isn't a part of that. You'd just be carrying on the way you were before if you kept finding ways to supervise me or find out every detail about what I'm doing all the time. Hi, Andrea. A fleck of annoyance seems to rise up in them as they speak.
I'm serious.
You shouldn't take comfort from what I might be doing, but how I actually feel about you in general. And that goes way deeper than just who I'm spending time with. Knowing that my loyalty to you won't change just because I have other people in my life too. That's the key to it. That way, it'll never matter to you what I'm doing. You'll know our relationship won't be betrayed or disturbed even if we aren't together all the time. All of that is completely true, but instead of feeling like I'm being given advice, I feel like I'm being criticized. And for good reason. Ash is right. I'm so obsessed with control, and it's ruining everything. I'm still looking at things backwards. I'll never learn to trust if this is what I'm like. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry.
It's alright.
It's alright. Just... They pause, leaving a horrible, tense silence hanging between us.
I just feel like...
It makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong when you think like that, you know? I've already been through that with my ex. Oh God, do not compare me to that guy. I don't want to feel guilty about something as harmless as hanging out with workmates. I know you're not insinuating that on purpose, but just be aware of the effect it has. It's not comfortable for either of us. Now I feel even more like garbage. Ooh, 3 discs. Of course Ash shouldn't feel bad about making friends. They should feel free to do whatever they like with their life. And the fact that my toxic brain has a problem with that crushes what little self-esteem I have left.
Listen.
Look, let's just take things slow, okay? I'm going to meet everyone tomorrow, and you can use that as a gateway into changing things for the better. I'll call you when I get home and tell you about it, and hopefully it'll prove to you that there was no need to worry. The lack of control won't matter. I'm dreading this, but I feel as though I have no choice, so I accept the hand I'm dealt with. Alright. I'll try to just leave you to it. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. In fact, could you not text or call me while I'm out? I know you'll probably be tempted to keep checking up on me, but I feel like it's probably not a good idea to indulge that compulsion, you know? Ouch! That hurts even more! Okay, yeah. I won't contact you. I'll just wait for you to call. Thanks. I'm going to get going now, but I'll be in touch tomorrow. Alright. Thanks for calling. Have a good time. I try to say this cheerfully, but I'm struggling to mean it.
Bye.
I will. Bye. They hang up, and I stare down at my half-eaten omelet. Somehow I feel like an even bigger asshole than I already thought I was. I don't want to let Ash down, though. So I better give this a go. And we'll see if I made the right decision or not. I feel like being able to admit the control issue was huge, but Ash didn't take it as well as I thought they would. Caught myself that time. TV remote, laptop, phone. They're all set up and ready to fill my day with entertainment. And yet, I'm not in the mood for any of them. Ash will have their little social gathering today, and I seriously feel out of whack about it. I don't want to go over the details again and again in my head. What's important is that I do genuinely approve of why Ash is doing this, and I need to let that conviction power me through. It's going to be hard, though. Oh. Ash is calling. Didn't expect that. I'm getting deja vu. Hey, Ash, you okay?
Hey,
Yeah, I'm just about to head out to meet the others. Thought I'd check in with you before I leave. My chest fizzles happily at the fact that they thought of me. However, it's quickly spoiled by the sense of foreboding that follows, knowing that the dreaded outing is about to begin. Have a really good time today, okay? Make some new friends and feel confident. You deserve it. Thanks, I will. I'm quite excited. Not for Sean's terrible jokes, though. I'll make sure to not laugh at any of them. Don't want to encourage him. They chuckle brightly, getting the feeling that they're putting on this much cheeriness as a way of reassuring me that everything will be okay.
hey,
You'll be fine today, too, you know. Do you have anything fun planned for the afternoon? Oh, yeah. You for 5 minutes and actually do any of them. Not particularly, but I'll find something to do. You didn't miss anything. Just, me desperately hoping that I picked correct.
well,
Why don't you have a movie marathon or start a new game? I'm sure if you get into something you enjoy, it'll help the time fly by. If I made the wrong decision, I might just start a new game. Ash, did you consider that? I'll be calling you again before you know it. There's that uncharacteristically energetic tone again. They're really trying to motivate me. It kind of suggests that they're worried about me. And I don't like that. The last thing I want is to be a burden. Yeah, I'll be alright. I'll figure something out. I throw in a little false chirpiness of my own. It makes me feel guilty, but I don't want Ash to start their day on a bad note.
right.
Okay. I'd better get going. Wish me luck. Good luck. You won't need it, though. You'll be fine. They laugh nervously.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later. Have a great day. You too. The call ends, and the world around me seems to dim slightly in Ash's absence. That's just the sun setting. Just, it does that. Does it every single day, actually. Hasn't missed one yet. Well, here I am. All I have to do is kill a few hours. How hard can it be? I essentially do this every weekend. I'm just not normally agonizing over what my partner is doing without me at the same time. Huffing out a loud sigh, I try to shut my anxiety down. Come on, Skull. You could do this. Right. Where do I start? Let's go with, gaming. Picking up my controller, I set my mind upon thinking only about the playthrough I'm about to start, and nothing else. It's been a little while. I've played my game as planned, but I can't deny that I've been a bit distracted. I have enough common sense in me to know that everything's probably fine. Ash is just hanging out with workmates. It's not a big deal. I hope no one does try to flirt with them now that they're all away from work and don't have to stay professional. Ash is a cutie. I noticed it the moment that I met them. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else had noticed it too. No, Skull. Don't be silly. They aren't having a damn orgy behind your back. It's just lunch and a chat. Besides, even if someone did hit on Ash, I'm sure they'd reject them immediately. It's me they're interested in. I nod to myself, confirming the thought in my mind, and go back to gaming. I blast a few more enemies, but then my head starts to analyze the situation from a different angle. What if Ash did enjoy someone else's advances? Not because they didn't genuinely like me, but because... Music just cut out. Why did the music just cut out? I don't like it when the music cuts out. And now we have this. Come on, idiot Skull. Stop being an idiot, Skull. Oh, God. Don't go there, brain. That's too far. I shake my head, mashing the buttons as I try to just game in peace. It doesn't work, though. I can't stop worrying about the horrifying possibility that's now plaguing my thoughts. If Ash noticed their own potential partners that surround them, it might make them see the truth about how I compare to them. I've been a terrible person, and they might realize that they deserve better than me. They'd be right, honestly. I wouldn't fault them for choosing what's best for them. It'd kill me. A flash of light assaults my eyes from the laptop screen, and I'm met with a big game over graphic. Frick, when did I die? I didn't even notice. I was so wrapped up in my fears that I guess I forgot to play properly. Lowering my controller, I feel my brow crease heavily with anxiety. This is not productive of me to be thinking about, but the idea is just expanding in my head like a raging fire that I can't put out. My gaze subconsciously flits to my phone sitting next to me on the couch. Ash, what are you doing right now? How is everyone treating you? Is anyone getting too close? Before I know it, I've snatched up the phone hungrily, bashing on the keys. That was a mistake. How's it going with everyone? I was thinking about you and... Wait, stop! No, Skull, don't do it. It'd only be more toxic of you. Plus, Ash specifically asked you not to contact them while they're out. Don't be a stalker. Flinging my phone back down, I try and take deep breaths. Good decision. It's all right. My head's only running away like this because I'm used to letting the paranoia run wild. I'll just have to learn to let it go instead. Ash needs me to do this. Okay. Gaming. Let's load from the last checkpoint. I start playing again, fixing my eyes onto the screen as hard as I can. This is all that matters right now. Killing dudes and scoring points. I forced my way through a couple of levels, but I had to pause for a second. My hands are starting to cramp up. Not from the button mashing, but from the sheer force I'm gripping the controller with. Man, they don't make them like they used to. I'm so tense. Come on, relax. I don't need to know what Ash is doing right now. The situation doesn't concern me. There's no danger of anything bad happening. But there might be. Overwhelmed by the sudden surge of frustration, I leap up from the couch. My laptop tips off my knees and falls to the floor. I'm so strung out right now, I can't concentrate at all. It's like someone poured gasoline on my mental fire and now it's a blazing inferno. I just wish I could see the situation at the cafe right now. If I could, it'd probably calm me down. I'm sure nothing bad would be going on. I just need some reassurance. Oh my God, I'm practically hyperventilating here. I gotta do something other than just sitting around right now. My body feels like it's about to explode with pent-up panic. Ash suggested, I can't do that. Ash suggested that I find fun things to do to make the time pass faster. Maybe if my usual stuff isn't doing it, then something else will. How about a walk to clear my head? Yeah, that sounds good. remove myself from my familiar environment, be somewhere else for a while. Grabbing my keys and wallet, I go to swipe my phone off the couch too. Wait. No. Better leave that behind. That way I won't be tempted to cave in and contact Ash again. Oh, leaving the house also makes you tempted to walk by that cafe. Turning my back on it, I clench my jaw and make for the door. Just a walk around the neighborhood to disperse my frenzy, and then I'll head back in time for Ash's call. That sounds good. Then it'll all be over. This feels like the second protagonist you've written who has a problem with anxiety. Not nearly to the extent of the other guy. Okay, so it wasn't exactly a neighborhood walk. Don't do it. Don't you do it. I had started strolling the streets around my building, but I'd been so pumped up with hectic energy that I'd accidentally frog marched halfway to work. I feel like a bit of an idiot. My legs had started burning from my fast pace. That's why I figured I'd just get the train the rest of the way into the city. I was already a good chunk of the way there. May as well carry on. Isn't the cafe opposite work, though? If memory serves, it's like right there beside work. Plus, there's way more to do here than at home. There are all sorts of things I could occupy myself with. Okay, let's pick something to do. Where should I go? There's an arcade not far from here. Yep, always the right decision. I could try and snag an oversized plushie on those rigged claw machines that never let you in. Or maybe I could go to the mall. It'd take me a while to get round all the stores. That'd burn a lot of time. My feet start carrying me in various directions, halting as I change my mind and divert my course. Oh man, I still don't feel like doing anything, even with all these options. I grind to a halt in the middle of the street, and my stomach clenches as I realize the downside of having come here. Ash and the gang aren't that far away. I'm practically right on top of the eye of the storm. Fuck! I don't want to go anywhere near the cafe. At the same time, I want to run there immediately and check out what's going on. I feel as though I'm being ripped in two. Both sides of my conscience are grappling for control at the same time. Get out of my head! Just let me be reasonable and stay away like I know I should. I don't feel so good. You had fun programming this scene? Why does that feel ominous? I'm starting to get dizzy and I'm sweating like mad. I try to take deep breaths, but it's not helping. I feel as though I'm going to snap if I don't do something. I actually kneel down for a second, feeling bodies pass by me as they skirt around my crouched form. I'm probably getting a load of weird looks, but I don't care. I've got to get a hold of myself. This desperate need for control is consuming me. I just need a drink. That's right. It's hot out today. My temperature's already raised from walking and freaking out. If I get a nice cool drink, I just sit down somewhere. Yeah, that'll help me. An iced fruit drink. Hell, maybe I'll push the boat out and say yes to the whipped cream too. I'll treat myself. It'll make me feel better. Let's find somewhere that sells drinks around here. Oh, it's not the cafe. Thank goodness. Aw, man, that burger and fries looks really good. Aw, man. What is it with these visual novels that always make me hungry, man? I hate myself. Oh, Idiot Skull did an idiot thing. Of course I fucking came here. I couldn't resist, could I? I knew full well that it'd be awful of me to show up while Ash is trying to enjoy their day out, and here I just couldn't say no to my paranoia. I should turn around and go straight back out the door right now. I falter, half swiveling uncertainly. Then, against my better judgment, my anxiety croons in my ear, sweet-talking me into believing its lies. Maybe it's okay that I'm here. Maybe it's nothing to do with Ash that I'm here. I wanted a drink, right? This is my favorite cafe. Am I not allowed to visit it just because those guys are here? Psh! Of course I am. They don't own this place. It's hot, I'm stressed, and I'm getting a drink. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm minding my own business and everyone else can mind their own too. Puffing out my chest in defiance, I join the back of the line at the counter. I will get that whipped cream and maybe even a brownie to go with it. The seconds pass. As I inch closer to the front, my facade slips just enough for my good side to peek out from underneath. Well, thank you. It comes very naturally to me. I shouldn't do this. I'm full of crap. Of course I came here because of Ash. I'm using this as an excuse to spy on them like the asshole I am. Am I really going to let my fears force me to do this? Nerves bunch in my stomach as I hesitate, eyeing the door with temptation. I'm eyeing that burger. I would leave this cafe, go to a Red Robin, and order the most expensive burger and bottomless fries I could get. It's not too late to back down. No one I know has seen me. They'll never know I was here. That's right, it's not too late. You can still turn around. We could forget this ever happened. You could tell Ash later that you faltered, but you turned around, and maybe they'll accept it, maybe they won't, but this doesn't have to be the end. I'd better just... No, I can do whatever I want. If Ash and I bump into each other while I'm here, then that's just serendipity. If they don't believe that, then it's their problem. I'm in the right here, and I'm not backing down. I stay firmly in the line, shuffling along with the other customers. Trying to look innocent, I cast around the cafe, searching for Ash and the others. I can't see them yet. It's pretty crowded in here, though, so they'll probably be hard to spot. Twitching my fingers anxiously, I stammer out my order to the cashier. The more I think about seeing Ash, the more my heart thunders. I order my drink to take out. See? I'm not interfering. I'm going to leave. Soon. Aren't I a good partner? I wait, jiggling with antsy impatience and glancing around. It's possible, Dim. It's also possible this is a red herring and it was correct. We don't know until the end. Once my drink and brownie are handed to me, yeah, that's gotta be the most loaded with chocolate brownie ever. Please make it loaded with chocolate. I walk a clumsy half circle as though I'm heading back toward the door. Come on! I know they're here somewhere. I just want a little peek. Napkins! Yes, I'll get a napkin. Making my second excuse since I got here, I turn away from the door and head further into the cafe instead. I grab some napkins at the stand at the other end of the counter, making my movements purposefully slow to give me time to look around. I hear my own breath rasping anxiously, my agitated heartbeat flooding my senses, and then there they are. A waving arm catches my attention, and I realize that it belongs to Malik. Everyone around the table is laughing at whatever he's saying. I spot Ash right in the middle of it, sandwiched between Sean and Jamie in the booth. Their cheeks are blushing pink as they giggle. They look happy and relaxed. For a split second, I feel glad for them. They're having a great time and making friends just like they'd hoped to. This is a wonderful step forward. Then my jealous rage crashes down over me like a tidal wave, sweeping away my compassion. That's my partner, Sean. Malik, Jamie, get the fuck away from them! Seething, I pretend to be choosing a straw from the counter, stalling for time and leaning as close as I can to the group. What are they talking about? I want to know why Ash is smiling so much. They look so fulfilled without me, and I don't like it. I leer across the room, straining to eavesdrop at their conversation. And then it happens. A pair of eyes wanders from the group and lands on mine. When we look at each other, it feels as though time freezes in the most horrible way possible. Busted. Now you've done it. Shit. Ash stares at me. Their eyes swim with disappointment. It stings me right to my core, and the pain jolts me out of my toxic, paranoid daze at last. I've messed everything up. Breathing raggedly, I grab my things and skitter out of the cafe. I make it almost to the end of the street before coming to a halt, trying to steady myself. You idiot, Skull. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Ash was relying on you, and you did the exact thing they didn't want you to do. What kind of partner are you? I practically writhe in disgust at myself as I stand there, hunched over and panting. God, I'm hot. I actually really need this drink now. Sucking down big gulps of its cold fruitiness, I flinch as it shocks my throat. I don't know what to think now. Only that Ash will probably never want to see me again after this. And who could blame them? Idiot? Skull? Feeling as though I'm falling down an inescapably huge hole, I start to walk again. However, a sound from behind catches my ear.
Stop it.
Skull! Oh boy. I'm about to get the verbal shit kicked out of me. And I totally deserve it. Grudgingly, I turn around. Ash skids to a stop in front of me, having been chasing me down. Their expression is agitated beyond anything I've seen from them before.
This is crazy.
I can't believe you followed me here. Their voice is high and shaky with dismay and half-squashed anger. Ash isn't the type of person to shout, but I feel as though they want to right now.
I'm serious.
You didn't listen to anything I said at all, did you? I reply, knowing full well that it's not going to help my case at all. I know you probably won't believe me when I say this, but I genuinely didn't plan to come here. I was at home until about 30 minutes ago. Ash's nose wrinkles as they glare at me with disdain. I was gaming for a while, but I got really paranoid and wound up. So I went for a walk to cool my head. I even left my phone at home so I couldn't contact you. I make a show of emptying all my pockets to prove my point. I guess I was just too... I had a lot of energy to burn. I ended up walking halfway here by accident, and then I just came all the way into town so I could do something else. Go to the arcade or something. Ash listens with a conflicted expression. I'm not sure if my words are having any sort of positive impacts, but I continue anyway. Seriously, Ash, I didn't come here to spy on you. I just found myself here kind of an autopilot, and okay, I ended up sneaking a look at you. It happened before I really knew what I was doing. I feel more pathetic than ever. Ash doesn't exactly get angrier, but upset still glimmers painfully in their eyes.
That's not...
You could have just left before you saw me. I know, I didn't, though. I had my chance to avoid this, and I blew it. Honestly, Skull, Their frown sinks into an even more gloomy look, and I can't stand it.
You don't get it.
I thought you'd be able to do this. You've kinda really disappointed me. I know.
I just feel like...
I wish you just texted me if you were struggling that much while you were at home. I almost did, but I was doing my best to obey their no contact request. Plus, it would have felt pretty awful to have to admit that I was finding it so difficult to just live out my normal weekend while they socialized. Something that simple shouldn't be a problem for anyone. I don't think either of those things will be a fair excuse, but Ash seems to want an explanation either way. Ah, great! 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 I had all week to think about my last answer, and now I've got this? Well, my first instinct is to say you asked me not to contact you, but it doesn't exactly matter now, does it? I didn't want to admit how bad I felt. Trying to gain some sympathy from a very serious stalking situation? Aw, neither of these is good. Idiot Skull, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Idiot, idiot, idiot. And I wish there was a third choice that said, I'm an idiot, I'm sorry. Which I guess is kind of what the second choice is, a little bit. I can imagine Borealis just like, good, Sutha, you know, sort of a thing. How do other streamers react to this? Okay, here's my logic. I went with the top answer earlier today. I'm going with the bottom answer now to balance it out. That is fair, Borealis, and I think being able to use your life and your first-hand experiences can absolutely make a story, whether it be a game or a book or a movie, can absolutely make it all the more, I won't say real, but genuine. It makes it ring true. And I'm going with the second answer because I chose the first one earlier today. I just didn't feel like I could tell you how paranoid I was. That's the last thing you want to hear while you're trying to have fun, right? Besides, it's so unfair of me to even be upset about this kind of thing in the first place. So I kept it to myself. I couldn't admit how much I was freaking out. It had hurt me as well as you. Ash shifts their weight to the other foot as they consider me seriously. Somehow I feel as though their expression gets more sour. Great.
That's not...
I guess I understand, but isn't that actually kind of selfish? You weren't brave enough to be honest with me about your feelings. So you let them drive you insane, to the point where you did the one thing I didn't want you to do and ruined this whole thing. Crap, they're right. I thought I was putting Ash first by not confiding in them, but in actual fact, I was saving my own pride instead.
You know...
If you'd have just told me how bad you felt, I could have texted you back and reassured you that nothing was going on. But now we're in this mess. I'd really appreciate it if you tried harder to be more open about your thoughts. You mentioned this before, and we agreed to give our relationship another try, remember? Yeah, I know. I don't have an excuse.
Can I ask...
If I could ask, what had you so paranoid anyway? Like, was there a specific thing you were worried about? Did you think I'd cheat on... No! I cut the idea short before it fully forms. honestly, it's not even that anymore. It's, can I really say this? I guess if I want to get anywhere close to making up for what I've done today, I'd better be truthful. You could do so much better than me, Ash, and you probably know it. I was scared that if you realized how many great people you could be with instead, you'd wonder why the hell you were holding out for me to get my ass in shape. I'm still scared of it now. I'm shaking a little as I admit it. Yeah, and I think you're doing a good job of explaining that. I am curious though. Like I said, maybe you have an answer, maybe you don't. You mentioned in previous streams that you've watched other people play through this game. How do they react when given that exact choice? Are they like me? It's like, well, neither of these are good, or are they like, oh, this one obviously? Or do they sit back and think about it and go through their, like, how do different people react to that choice in particular, but all the choices in this game, I guess? Maybe not all the choices, because we're still on the Ash route. We're close to the end, I think, of the good ending for Ash. Like, we've dodged 2 bad endings already, and we're this deep into this. So there's a lot more to this game that I haven't seen yet. But yeah, I'm curious how people react to all the choices. Do they like rip their hair out trying to decide one way or the other, or do they just like eeny, meeny, miny, mo? You're amazing, Ash. I wouldn't blame you for wanting what's best for yourself, instead of settling for me and getting even more hurt from whatever crap I end up doing. I assume that was on purpose. I assume that you get a sort of giddy giggle out of every time someone is trying to figure it out. It's like, ha, good, suffer, figure it out. Make decisions, make mistakes, play the game more. When I finish speaking, I feel suddenly exhausted. It's like bearing my insecurities knocked the stuffing out of me. Ash sighs softly, and I dare to make eye contact again. Their gaze seems to have softened a little, though they still look upset.
That's not...
I get it, but I made a commitment to you. I know about your flaws and fears. I know how they can affect us. I'm still willing to bear that difficulty if it means that we can get to a better place at the end of the road. Ash is a lot stronger than I would be. I feel as though a light turns on in my heart. Then Ash's face sinks into another sorrowful look, plunging me straight back into darkness. Well, I don't know how I feel about us after this. Ash, please, don't say that. I can feel my last chance slipping through my fingers. Maybe I shouldn't have encouraged you to do something like this so soon. You're clearly not ready. And if you never get to that point, then we'll be over. Ash, please. You have no idea how much I want to make this work. You know I hate myself right now. I never intended to be like this. I know I need to change. I swear I'm trying. I almost fall to my knees as I beg them not to throw me away. I need this relationship more than I've ever needed one before. Ash stares hard at me, seeming lost in thought. Is there anything I could do to reassure you? What do you need from me? Forget how stupid I've been so far. I'll do anything, Ash. Seriously, just name it. They hesitate awkwardly. I think I just need some space. Yeah, to think about things properly. Can you at least give me that? Of course. No calls or texts until you tell me otherwise. Take all the time you need. I don't want us to go fully no contact, but if Ash might come back around to me afterwards, then I'll deal with it. okay? Just... They gaze at me with such with such intensity, not insensitivity, wow. With such intensity, I almost stumble, excuse me. There is some compassion in their eyes, but it's mixed with a cutting blend of anger, sadness, frustration, and disappointment. Just go. I'll be in touch when my head is clear. And that's that. I've been dismissed to contemplate my asshole behavior and shame. I turn my back to Ash, unable to bear any more guilt. I guess I'll just go home. I take a few steps, but then Ash's voice calls after me.
Listen.
We're not over, Skull. We're on thin ice. We're not over. But the thought somehow doesn't reassure me at all. I don't turn back to look at them, but I nod to acknowledge their words. Swallowing tears, I stride away. It's not over! Somehow! Holy wow, look at all those books. Look at all that manga. I don't know where this is, but I want to visit this place. The stark tube lights above me shower an unnatural brightness upon the room as I wander down the aisles. It's a little invasive, but whatever. I don't normally come to bookstores, being more of a movie buff. Today's different, though. Man, I wish movie stores still looked like this. We haven't had a movie store that looked this nice since Blockbuster. After what I did at the cafe last week, I wanted to buy Ash a gift. I know a random material thing doesn't come anywhere close to the apology they deserve, but I thought it'd show that I care. It doesn't have to break our current silence either. I could just put it on their desk with a casual note. And I kind of feel like even that's pushing it, but... I can understand the logic, but I feel like even that is just a little... That is pushing it. Blockbuster are dearly departed. No lie, one of my favorite things to do is to hop into VR chat and walk around inside of a world that has been designed to look like an old Blockbuster. Just being able to browse the shelves and just go inside and experience what it was like back in the day. Because, you know, I grew up and Blockbuster was still a thing. My very first video game I ever bought was from a Blockbuster. So, yeah, I miss it. I get why it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, Redbox just went out of business a month or two ago, so I get it. Physical media, just there isn't much demand for it. Not enough to run a whole chain of thousands of stores, but... never forgetting. Last time we talked normally, Ash had mentioned wanting to get into reading some of the classic romantic novels that everyone talks about. Hopefully I can find a good book here for them, and it can help them get started. I did a quick internet search before I came here, so I know the kinds of things I'm looking for. I browsed for a few minutes, checking the list of recommendations I found. I'll get this one. There's a regular edition and a special hardback edition with more illustrations. What the heck, I'll go all out. I don't mind spending the extra money. They had Blockbuster in Europe? I didn't know that. I thought it was strictly an American thing. Cool. Picking up the book, I make my way to the counter to pay. Oh, damn, the line's kind of big. Oh, well, at least I'm not in a rush. I stand there for a few minutes, doing the awkward, disjointed queue shuffle along with everyone else. Blockbuster was huge in the UK. The more you know. I genuinely thought it was just a US thing. Well, today I learned a thing. I also learned how Idiot Skull is an idiot. Breaking news. It takes quite a while, so I start reading each new book display that I pass out of boredom. The first one is a manga collection. The series just had an anime release, so it's all the rage right now. The next one I end up waiting by is a collection of cookbooks by a celebrity chef. I don't really know much about her, but she seems really into baking. We inch forward again, and once we stop, I turn to the final display before the cash register. Wow, that's a change of pace. It looks like the latest release by an author who specializes in self-help books. You know, those ones that claim to help you improve your life without therapy and such. I've never read anything remotely like that, and I'm not exactly sure how effective they actually are. A lot of people who write these things turn out to be frauds. Like those, you know, I'll teach you how to be rich. All you need to do is pay me $1,000 for this course. And then they reiterate the same things that everyone's been saying for years. Don't carry debt, save up money, and invest in the S&P. Yeah, I'll teach you how to be rich. Just pay me $1,000 to regurgitate information. Did have a GameStop too. I knew you guys had GameStop, but I always knew that the game store just called Game was a lot bigger, and also a few other things. Okay, then where is the UK? Not in Europe. I glance back up at the line, but we're still not moving. The woman at the front looks like she's buying a lot of books. Oh, that reminds me. So I went to a anime Comic Con to meet Jeremy Lee, who's like a really big anime voice actor. She's actually done a whole ton of stuff now. But anyway, we were in line to meet her, and some VIP, somebody who had bought the VIP ticket, which lets you skip the line wherever you want. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like $40 for the main ticket, and then the VIP ticket's like $500. But the perk is you get to skip the line and you get extra things and stuff. Anyway, they used their ticket to skip the line right in front of me. I'd been waiting in line for like 3 hours by that point. This person skips the line, and I'm not kidding when I say they have a little red wagon full of pop figures. Like, not figures, empty boxes they had broken down so they could fit more inside of the wagon. They had something like 100 of those things. They hopped the line, gave the boxes to her to have her sign, didn't even say hi, didn't even care. It was very freaking obvious what they were doing. They were trying to get these things signed so they could flip them for a profit later. And I'm just standing there the whole time. I'd spent 3 hours waiting. Then I had to spend at least another 20 minutes waiting for her to sign all these things. I felt bad for Jeremy. I felt, yeah. Just, oh man. Some people really make me annoyed, man. So, I can relate to Idiot Skull right now. The woman in front looks like she's buying a lot of books, while the person in front of me looked like they were inconsiderate. Yeah, inconsiderate's the word, but hey, they're gonna make at least a $5 profit when you factor in shipping and taxes, so it's all worth it. Oh man. I huff impatiently and turn back to the display since I have nothing else to do. Well, I mean, I have a lot of signed stuff that I'm very happy of the stuff that I have signed, but everything I have is like, it's something that meant a lot to me before I got it signed, and then it was cool to meet the person who helped to make it come to life, and it's more of the experience of meeting that person than the actual signature. I will share this. I met Veronica Taylor, the original voice of Ash from Pokemon, at a random expo in Dallas in 2021. And then I went to Denver last year for another thing. I stood in line just to say hi, and she remembered me. Now, to be fair, you know, I have a Pokemon YouTube channel. A lot of people recognize me, but no, she remembered me specifically from the other time we met. I was just going up to say hi, and she insisted on getting a picture with me and giving me like a signed custom Pokemon card. She didn't charge me a penny. She was just so excited to see me again. And oh man, a lot of celebrities are just a lot sweeter than you would imagine. And a lot of it's because a lot of them realize that they are only celebrities because of the fans, and they want to do everything to make sure that for a lot of these fans who spend a lot of money and have this once in a lifetime opportunity to meet someone they've really looked up to for years, they want to make sure that they get a great experience out of it. So it's really cool the amount of people that I've met that I would expect for them to be, well, assholes, but they turn out to be some of the sweetest people I've ever interacted with. End of tangent. Mildly amused, I scanned the titles. Promotion 101. Get the raise you deserve. The path to clarity through grief and loss. Some of these sound so generic. Were they written by ChatGPT? What's next? Manifesting your next husband? I have a friend who would actually buy that book, I wouldn't lie. I snort a laugh, searching the titles to see if he's actually written anything like that. God help the desperate people who think some random book is going to help them find the one. Oh, I'm almost disappointed. No future marriage manuals here. I guess he's not that bad after all. The only one I could see that's related to relationships at all is... Wow! Jealousy. The green-eyed monster that doesn't have to destroy your relationship. Well, punch me in the gut, why don't you? It's like the universe planted this here specifically for me to notice. Thanks. Feels great. Okay, the fact that we have made the decisions like 20 minutes ago and we're still progressing through the story makes me believe we had to have made the right decisions to keep going this far, right? That we're still on the path towards a good ending. I hope. Either that or it's a 2-hour-long bad ending. Nothing wrong with those, but there's no in between. Either we're on the path to a good ending or we sealed our fate like 5 days ago and we're not going to know about it for another week. I gaze at the book with raised eyebrows, feeling kind of disdainful. How much could something like this actually help someone? Isn't it basically just someone's opinion on how to live your life? Feeling kind of wrong about it, I reach across and pick up the book, turning it over to read the blurb and the author description. Oh, he's actually a qualified therapist himself. I guess he does have some kind of validity to whatever he writes about. The book's summary says that it addresses how jealousy can affect your perceptions and behavior and offers various methods of soothing it and working around it to have healthier reactions. I gulp nervously. Oh, I met Vic too. My wife loves him because he was in Bleach and he signed something for her. That's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. I feel almost exposed just glancing at this book casually, as though I'm admitting my flaws to the whole store. Hold on, I just thought of a thing I need to say now. Okay, just making a quick note on something here. At last, the line starts moving again. While you're holding the book, what a coincidence. Naturally, I go to put the book back on the display so I can move along. However, I feel myself hesitate. I don't really like the idea of buying something like this. If Ash and I haven't made progress with my issues by working together, then how are impersonal suggestions from some guy I've never met going to do any better? Well, what comes to mind is it's at least an impartial third party. Couldn't hurt. Plus, turning my stuff like this makes me feel even more broken. Turning to stuff like this makes me feel even more broken. Like I'm screaming it from the rooftops. I don't want to deal with that. But then, I'm strangely curious. Ah, screw it. I'll buy the damn thing. What do I have to lose? If it's a load of crap, it'll make a nice coaster. I press the book to my chest awkwardly to hide its cover from view. I feel dumb about it, but I still don't want anyone to see what I'm buying. Hey, I guarantee, it's a bookstore. People are buying a lot more embarrassing stuff than that. And they probably aren't as embarrassed to buy it as you are to buy this. I have seen quite a few questionable characters walking around Barnes & Noble with a pile of books that, well, actually, Barnes & Noble doesn't even sell anymore. When it's finally my turn to pay, I carefully place the books down so that the jealousy book is underneath Ash's novel. I don't know why I bothered. Cashier has to scan them both anyway. I avert my eyes, feeling myself flush with embarrassment. Why am I so hung up about this? People buy self-help books all the time. I should just own it. I'm not quite able to be that bold, though, so I mumble my way through the transaction, stuffing the book to the bottom of the bag. Yeesh, I feel weird. Ash's gift sits on the table, neatly tied with a cute ribbon. A heartfelt note lays nestled beneath the knot in the best handwriting I could muster. I wonder if Idiot School's handwriting is better than Real School's. Real School's handwriting sucks. Imagine a kindergartner learning to write their name for the first time and then just not improving at all over the next 25 years, and that's my handwriting. I'll give it to them next time I'm at work. Hopefully they'll appreciate it. As for the other book, well, I've actually started reading it. After getting home and having a snack. Oh man, now I'm thinking about that burger and fries. Oh man. That's it, I'm going to eat at Red Robin tonight. I feel sorry for any of you who don't know what Red Robin is. They make the best burgers and have bottomless french fries, all you can eat, included with your meal. I'm going to have that for dinner. After getting home and having a snack, which I assume is not a burger and fries, my curiosity has hit an all-time high, and I couldn't resist checking out the first chapter. I guess it's more compelling than I thought it'd be. I'm on chapter 3 now. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it. I feel very strange about reading it, as though I'm doing something wrong. Every now and then, though, there's a sentence that makes me stop and nod my head. There's not much preachy, know-it-all stuff in here at all. It's actually pretty down-to-earth and relatable. I also appreciate that the author doesn't mention jealousy like it's a horrible curse, and he never implies that you're a bad person for feeling it. He just presents it as a facet of life, which I guess it is. That makes me feel a teeny bit less crappy about myself. I'm not sure how much I really gained from reading this whole thing, but I think I'll continue for now. It's not really my style, but Ash is counting on me to make the positive changes that I so desperately need. If I can make any sort of improvement through this book, then it might prove to them that I'm serious about getting better. And God knows I need that. All right, chapter 4. We have to be on a good path. Please tell me we're on a good path. Yeah, no, absolutely. Speaking for myself, I consider myself... It's hard to explain. I think everyone, when you have a presence on the internet, you're always a different person than your real self. You're always more of an idealized person on the internet than you really are. On the internet, for most of my career, I have tried to be outgoing, I've tried to be energetic, I've tried to be like upbeat and excited about everything and all that stuff. And that is actually not really how I am in real life. In real life, I consider myself like kind of quiet, definitely an introvert. Whenever I'm around people for too long, I get uncomfortable and I have to go home and just sit at my computer. Although that might also be internet addiction, I don't know. But I can absolutely understand what it's like to be one way in private and another way around other people. It is interesting how the brain works. And I think that affects everyone at least a little bit. I don't think that there's too many people who are identical every single time of their life, but yeah. When I get more comfortable with friends and stuff like that, then I become very similar to how I am now, very talkative. I actually think I talk too much. I keep telling my wife, you have to shut me up. I ramble for too long. You need to make sure that I stop talking. But when I'm just around random people, I tend to be a lot more quiet, a lot more reserved. I get uncomfortable when I'm around too many people for too long. So yeah, it's different. So Idiot Skull here, being one way in private and another way around other people. In this way, it's obviously, there's a lot of toxicity involved in it, but I think I can actually kind of see underneath the toxicity, there's like a genuine outgoing person. Like in private, when they don't have to worry about, you know, like what is my significant other doing, when they don't have to worry about any of these topics that bring out their bad behavior, that bring out their evil side, I guess is the best way of putting it. They're very similar to me when I'm alone. They're quiet, they're reserved, they're self-conscious. They're hesitant to think about things and don't want to admit that there are problems, but also ready to admit that when there are problems, they need to fix something. But then when they're out in public, they're a lot more outgoing, they're a lot more upbeat, they're helpful, they take the initiative. Like, you know, all of the horrible stuff aside, like you can actually see that in private they're an introvert, but when they need to be extroverted, they're actually a really awesome person. And I think that's what Ash was getting at, was that underneath all of the jealousy, there's a really awesome person, a really good person. Just need to bring it out and crush the evil side down to oblivion. Yeah, exactly. It's not as black and white. Just because you're a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy. I take another bite out of my sandwich. Burger and fries. Then I slide my keyboard further across the desk away from me. Don't want to get crumbs stuck in it. The cafe had been extra busy today, so I'd got my food to take out and brought it back to the office. I don't mind too much. It gives me a chance to multitask while I eat. I find my page again and fix my eyes on the text while absent-mindedly feeding the sandwich into my mouth. Yep, it's that book again. I haven't suddenly been converted into a self-help obsessive, but for whatever reason, I felt compelled to finish this book. Maybe it's because I don't want to waste my money. Maybe it's my obligation to Ash to improve. Maybe it's because, as much as I hate to admit it, the stuff in here does make a fair bit of sense. Whatever it is, I feel ever so slightly understood when I read this. So I'm going to keep going. Full disclosure, I am planning on going through the other two characters' routes as well. I want to get a good ending for all three of the main routes. So I have a very hard time imagining that our problem with Ash, our jealousy factor, and all that stuff, I have a hard time imagining that might still be the problem with the other two routes, but I have a hard time imagining that we're going to be following that exact scene every single character with like the same lines and the same back and forth and the same choices and settings and stuff. I have to imagine that with the other two characters, like their stories are actually different. So I forget what I was saying, where I was going with all that. I can't for the life of me remember where I was going with that. Yeah, thank you, Borealis. I believe I was going to ask a question. I think I was about to ask you a question. The routes are different, but share common threads. Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time imagining that Idiot Skull doesn't have a jealousy problem in the other two routes. In fact, Idiot Skull probably has other problems that show up in the other two routes that if you were to redo Ash's route, you'd suddenly be able to pick up on things here and there and be like, oh, you know, it was hiding in plain sight. Whatever it is, I feel ever so slightly understood when I read this. So I'm going to keep going. Plus, there's no backlash or criticism here. I'm not in a relationship with whatever the author's name is. All he does is offer advice, and I like that one-sided lack of pressure. Flipping the page, I keep reading and eating. I should be able to finish this chapter before lunchtime ends. I'm left in peace for a few more minutes, but then two figures appear on either side of my vision. Hey, Skull. Ash and I are going to update the to-do board. Can we check where you are in your schedule? Oh, sure. I put my stuff down and knocked my computer out of standby, going through my unfinished tasks with them both. I glanced sneakily at Ash a couple of times, but they don't really look in my direction properly. It hurts, but I suck it up. They jot everything down and Brianna smiles at me. Thanks for that. We'll add these on, but if you think of anything else, just let us know. Will do. Brianna trots off to the whiteboard to start writing. Ash goes to follow, and I don't bother trying to start any personal conversations. It's probably not what they want right now. Picking up my book, I try to find where I left off. However, I start to get that nagging feeling that someone is watching me. Oh. Ash hasn't left yet. Weird. They gaze at me with a mixture of awkwardness and curiosity. Everything okay?
Yeah.
What they said?
I
was just wondering what you're reading. Oh. My toxic sense of shame automatically wants to fling the damn thing under my desk and pretend it's just manga or something. However, Ash was the catalyst for me buying it in the first place, so it's one of those self-help books. I lower my voice so that only they can hear and flash them a peek of the cover. When they see the title, their eyes widen. Oh, wow. That's unexpected. I didn't think you'd read something like that. Neither did I. Yeah, I bought it when I got your novel. I dropped the gift onto their desk yesterday without saying anything. It hadn't sparked a real conversation, but they'd said a brief thanks in passing.
Oh, okay.
I see. Is it good? I wouldn't say good, but there is something about it. Can't put my finger on it, but I'll read it anyway. I don't normally buy into this kind of stuff, but I need to get better at this, so I thought it was worth a shot. Hopefully Ash appreciates the fact that I'm open to resources like this. Their eyebrows raise and a look of pleasant surprise floods their face. I guess I got my wish.
Wow.
That's actually really positive, Skull. I'm glad you haven't given up on improving. Well, you know, I avert my eyes. All of this is my fault, so I'd better try taking responsibility. I drop my voice to a vulnerable, near whisper. You deserve that, at the very least. For a moment, I can't look at Ash directly out of self-loathing. However, I catch them shifting in my peripheral vision, and it makes me cave in and meet their eyes.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Keep going, okay? They nod at the book, and I feel the atmosphere between us lift a little. Yeah, I will.
Cool.
What they said. They smile just a little, and I feel my heart tingle. Even just the tiniest fragment of harmony between us is euphoric. Ash heads off to join Brianna at the whiteboard, and my cheeks flush. Somehow I feel slightly more optimistic about things just from that moment alone. And now I'm even more motivated to finish this book. What time is it? Okay. Chapter 14. Here we come. Okay. That went well. That went very, very well. It's going to be devastating if I still picked a wrong answer 2 hours ago and then find out in a day and a half that, oh, that was the wrong answer and there's nothing you could have done to save it. All your hopes dashed. I've seen it happen before. It's a disease that authors have, that storytellers have, where they get a kind of kick out of raising our hopes. The higher they're raised, the further they dash, and the more it makes them feel alive. Been there. It's a relaxed Sunday afternoon, and against all odds, I'm sitting in the park with Ash. They've texted out of the blue last night, breaking our silence at last. I'd nearly fallen off the couch in shock. They'd said they wanted to try meeting up for a short while to test the waters when it came to being around me again. Now that I'm perched on a bench next to them, eating takeout food and enjoying the view, I still kind of feel like I'm dreaming. Kind of hit a lull in the conversation, so we're just eating and taking in the scene. As we munch our food, a guy walking a golden retriever strolls by. The dog suddenly gets excited at the sight of us and bounds up to our bench. Man, golden labs are God's gift to man.
Oh,
Ash squeals in surprise, bursting into a giggle as it barks cheerfully. It nuzzles at their legs, wagging its tail in a plea for attention. It's pretty cute. Aww. They put their takeout box down and start petting the dog. It's sweet watching them ruffle its sanding fur as it lolls its tongue happily. Good boy alert. Best boy. Oh man, sorry. The voice belongs to the dog's owner, who comes dashing over with an apologetic grin. He loves strangers. Can't resist a chance to get somebody to make a fuss of him.
no stress.
It's alright. He's lovely. What's his name? They chat about the dog and the mischief he gets up to. Ash strokes its fluffy body all the while, enjoying its pleased reactions. Anyway, we'll let you get on with your afternoon. Come on, boy. He whistles to the dog. It obeys at last, spinning in an overexcited loop before returning to his side. You have a great day now. He says this mostly to Ash, smiling warmly.
Bye.
Ash beams back contentedly, their eyes gleaming. For just a moment, the nice atmosphere suddenly darkens as a spike of jealousy hits me. I don't like seeing Ash smile at someone like that. Oh. As though they can read my mind, Ash suddenly stiffens up, turning to gaze worriedly at me. They look like they've been caught doing something they shouldn't have. Naturally, there's nothing wrong with just happened. It's just my paranoia that makes moments like this a problem. We stare at each other with unsettled expressions, and I almost start to feel sick at the way I'd reacted so harshly to something so small. There's no need. Let it go. I've made enough mistakes and caused enough destruction with this jealousy. I'm fed up with it, and I don't want to make this mess any bigger. I avert my eyes slightly, looking over Ash's shoulder. Taking a deep breath, I remind myself that the guy was just a passing stranger, and Ash will probably never see him again. There was nothing suggestive in the way they'd smiled at him. They were just happy to pet his dog. Exhale. Okay. I fix my eyes back on Ash again, who's still stuck like a deer in the headlights. Hey, relax. It's okay. I force myself to press my mouth into a thin smile, and it actually helps to calm me down further. Ash continues to stare at me anxiously, as though they can't believe that I'm not seething with anger. I take a bite of my food in a hopeful attempt to seem unbothered. They blink, struggling to process it. I felt like you kind of flared up for a second there. You're getting hang of this. Yeah. Idiot Skull. I'm now graduating you from idiot to just plain moron. It's a step up, trust me. Maybe at first, but we're good. I'm fine, really. I widen my smile and Ash uncoils their tension at last.
Wow.
That's You did really well just now. I feel like we're kinda on the level of congratulating a kid for their shitty drawing, but I take it nonetheless. I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
I can see. I don't mind that you felt the jealousy in the first place. I appreciate that you managed to diffuse it. That's big for you. I nod, embarrassed but secretly relieved that they're pleased with me. I wanted to talk to you about something while we're here, actually. I glance up with interest, ready to listen.
Oh.
The cafe thing. Let's not go there.
I just feel like...
It made me feel as though you definitely weren't ready to make any progress with self-improvement. It gave me a lot of doubt about whether we'd ever have a positive relationship. I gulped nervously.
You know...
But since then, you seem to have changed your tune a little. Reading that book and the way you handled that flare-up just now, I feel like you've gotten more serious about it. How are you feeling about things? I could hardly think of a more loaded question to ask, but it's necessary. It's a bit confusing and uncertain, and I'm not sure how I feel half the time. I guess I wanna... Oh man, I always shy away from expressing my most vulnerable feelings. But with something like this, I really can't. Ash needs to know what I'm thinking, even if it pains me to confess it. Look, here's the deal, Ash. I really like you so much. You're an amazing person, and you deserve the best. That's why I haven't given up yet. A big part of me just wants to accept that I'm trash and that you'd never be happy with me. Ouch. It's completely true, though. But you haven't given up on me yet either. So if you really do want to keep trying, then I'll do everything I can to make you feel as though it's the right decision. We're already being way too you were already being too gracious by giving me a second chance. Or are we on the third chance by now? I try to smirk a little and Ash returns it. So the least I can do is give it all I have. I owe it to you. And so much more. Now my head is spinning from being so raw about it. I take a breath, almost laughing at myself. Ash contemplates me thoughtfully.
Well...
I'm grateful for all of that, but there is one thing you're neglecting. What's that?
I think so.
You shouldn't do this just for me. You deserve a positive change too. It's not just about repaying me some kind of debt. Your life is yours, and you deserve to be able to enjoy it without that toxicity taking over. That's so big-hearted of them to say. Thanks. It needs to be done either way. So I'll stay as committed as I can. Ash nods, seeming more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm glad you see it that way. I think we can move forward a little if that's how you're viewing it. So, no contact over?
Sure.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We can talk normally again. Holy crap, did I actually pick the right path every time by accident first try? I think we might have. They smile briefly and go back to their food at last. I do the same. Oddly, the sense of relief I'm getting isn't as big as I thought it'd be. It's like it's partially squashed by something else. I don't know why, but now I'm remembering from Venus, there was a scene where the two characters were out in the open eating lunch together, and I distinctly remember Haruka had octopus. Somehow I don't think either of these two are eating octopus. just a hunch. What is this feeling I'm getting all of a sudden? I can't describe it, but looking at Ash again just makes me think... Ash?
What is it?
Yeah? I'm almost not sure what's about to come out of my mouth, but whatever it is, I feel like it's going to rip me in half emotionally. If we keep going a bit longer, but you feel as though it's not working out, I swallow thickly. If you feel like you're getting hurt too many times, promise me that you'll walk away. Oh, those poor idiots. I still don't know if I'm on the right path or not, to be clear. I still don't know, but the fact that this has been going on for so long leads me to believe that maybe? It is so funny. That's so funny, like the thought of, like, just how unlucky can you be to every single choice you make is the wrong one. No, Dim, I have yet to make a single bad choice. Possibly. So, I've gotten this far. I've dodged 2 bad endings in the first chapter, so I at least have that going for me. Yes, Haruka with her octopus in her bento box. I remember that very well. To be fair, Venus is set in Japan. Haruka, Kokoro, calling their teacher sensei. Clearly that's set in Japan. This is set in, not Japan. the thought of how unlucky, especially that one in chapter 1 where it's like you get 2 choices in a row. You could pick one bad ending and then the other bad ending like 3 seconds later. And just the thought of like getting both of them one after another is just, that's amusing. That's the absolute last thing I would ever consider saying, and yet it just spilled out of me. Whew. Back to the serious thing. I feel like my world is tumbling down, but somehow I can't pretend that I hadn't meant it.
What?
I lick my dry lips, gearing up to repeat myself. Seriously, you're the best person I've ever met, Ash. After what you've been through, you deserve someone who's going to genuinely treasure you and treat you right. If you don't think I can be that person, I'm throwing myself away on Ash's behalf. Then don't stay. Find someone else who will give you the support you deserve. Ash stares at me in disbelief, and I shake my head at my own words. I don't recognize myself, but I guess I just love Ash. That's the root of it. I want them to be happy, and if that happiness doesn't lie with me, then I'll accept it. I'm done hurting them. I'm done being the villain. An awkward sob hiccups in my throat, and I blink back tears. This is a powerful and painful revelation that I didn't realize I was capable of, and it's really knocking me over. Ash almost looks like a painting. They barely twitched a muscle since I stopped speaking. This must be an even bigger shock to them than it is to me. That's hilarious. I'm the opposite. I'm just luckying myself from one correct choice to another. To be fair, it's not like the choices are obvious. It's like, boy, eeny, meeny, miny, mo kind of a thing. Like I said, my last choice was based solely on the fact that it was the bottom choice, and I had picked the top choice before, so, yeah. And I still am not sure if I'm on a good ending route, but I'm still here. I'm still going, still trudging forward. It takes them a few more seconds to loosen up enough to reply.
This is...
That's not like you at all. Do you really mean that? I can't face talking anymore, so I just nod sincerely. You're assuming some choices don't matter? I guess that's possible. I don't know, I'm used to most visual novels, the choices matter. I want to hold them close, but they haven't said it's okay for me to initiate physical contact again yet. So I crush the urge. Ash's hands curl into fists, and their own eyes start to well up a little. Then, as though reading my thoughts again, they unravel their fingers and reach across the bench. Their soft skin grips mine, and I feel as though my hand bursts into ecstatic flames. I can't tell you how important it is that you've set that skull. If either of us wanted a sign that you're capable of changing for the better, this is it. They squeeze my hand and I squeeze it back as though I'm holding onto a lifeline.
I think it's important.
I appreciate that so much, and I understand why you said it. Actually, good question. Borealis, are there some choices that don't matter? I guess you can hold me to that promise if it makes you feel better. But let's not think about that right now, okay? We're not there yet. They bite their lip, looking intensely at me.
I want to believe that.
I still have time left in me to see how things go. What a blessing. I don't trust myself to open my mouth without bursting into tears, so I nod again more vigorously than ever. Our fingers press into each other hotly, and the butterflies in my stomach flutter blissfully. This is a pretty dizzying moment, and it's not all pleasant, but Ash is still here by my side. So the future is bright. Raising my head, I try to send that feeling across to them with a watery smile. It works. They smile back, radiating that sweet, loving energy that I adore so much. This is why I have to keep trying. This is what makes the struggle worth it. Oh, look at that old computer case. What a nugget. Man, I miss those old beige, white metal cases. Oh, man, those were awesome. Now everything's all like, make it clear so you can see the insides. Make it all RGB. Man, I love utilitarianism. 11 p.m. I should get to sleep soon so I'm not tired at work tomorrow. Just a little longer. I've actually got to the end of this self-help book. Well, I'm almost there. Okay, well, there you go. I remember there were some in Venus that didn't matter, specifically like, okay, where do you want to eat lunch? In the CD room or out in the, or outside in Haruka's favorite spot. And, I remember distinctly that didn't matter. It was just to sort of give you a lot of different dialogues, just to understand more of Haruka's background, more of Kokoru's background. So yeah, I remember that. It didn't occur to me that some of these choices might not matter. Anyway, what do you know? Miracles can happen. I'm not sure how much of an effect it's had on me, but I felt strangely comforted by it. I guess I'm glad I bought it after all. The final passage addresses how to move forward after taking on all the advice the book had to offer. It also talks about how to keep faith in yourself and the idea that you'll succeed in beating jealousy even when times get hard. I automatically roll my eyes. Faith is the last thing I have in myself. That might even be the hardest part of all this. I press on regardless, wanting to hear how the author sees it. He says that faith isn't quite what it's made out to be. Most people think that it's just having blind belief in something with no concrete evidence that it'll actually work. Oh, well, there you go. I nod to myself as I read this. That's the phrase, isn't it? Blind faith. Like you're meant to just somehow trust an idea, even with no conviction whatsoever. He argues that faith isn't blind at all, and is actually based upon proof that presents itself to you, even if it only happens on rare occasions. There's a little analogy to explain what he means. Imagine that a man is walking through a dark tunnel. He can't see a thing, and has no idea if there's even an end, or if he'll just be walking forever, never breaking out. That's a good way to describe a situation like mine. However, all of a sudden, a car drives past him through the tunnel. For that split second, its lights illuminate what's ahead of him, and in the distance he spots it. The end of the tunnel, the way to freedom. His heart bursts with joy at the knowledge that there really is hope. Then the car passes and the tunnel becomes pitch black again. The man can no longer see the exit that he's so desperate to reach. This doesn't make him sad though. He stays optimistic and motivated to keep walking. Why? Shouldn't he feel lost in the darkness again now that the light is gone? I think that's how I'd feel. No, it doesn't matter to him that he can't see the exit anymore. What keeps him going is the fact that he knows it's there, even if it's not visible right now. He witnessed it undeniably, even if only for a brief moment, and that's all the proof he needs to know that his goal is achievable. That is real faith. The author concludes his epilogue by emphasizing how this analogy applies to your own self-belief. He says that even if you feel lost in the dark a lot of the time, you'll experience your own car headlights moment that will show you that you're on the right track. It's pretty profound, actually. According to him, the fact I've read this book in the first place is a car headlights moment in itself. It demonstrates my drive to change for the better, and that's something to hold on to. He also encourages the reader to keep looking out for more car headlight moments, because each one will help them to build that faith even more strongly. I turn the page, but that's it. I've reached the end. I'm not sure what to think about it all now. Naturally, my brain's love of bad habits makes me want to be cynical about it. I don't want to just give into that, though. Running the last passage of the book through my mind again, I try to compare it to my own experiences. That tunnel metaphor does make sense. It's funny, when I was first reading it, I felt like I couldn't relate. Now that I'm reconsidering it, I realize that I've technically had 2 car headlight moments. Or 3, in fact. The first one happened during that horrible scuffle between Ash and I when I tried to enact my horrifying plan to trap them. I think the light turned on after Ash told me about how their ex made them feel. It actually made me realize that I was in the wrong for having such a warped perspective and treating people so abusively. I saw the truth that night, and I guess it proves that I'm not all bad. The second headlights moment. Well, I have committed to trying to change, even if it hasn't been very successful so far. Well, change comes with time. Ash says they can see my determination, and I did read this book. The author says that it counts, right? I'm harnessing what resources I can to help myself. That's hopeful. And last week in the park, that was actually a big lights on moment. I actually managed to squash my jealousy when Ash chatted and smiled with that guy. Not only that, but I then went on to insist that they leave me for someone else if they weren't happy. And that's the most fantastically ridiculous part. Who'd have ever thought I'd say something like that? Not me. Doesn't all of that illuminate the exit for me? I feel like they all align with what this author's talking about. I really do feel hopeless most of the time. But those 3 things seem to hint at the idea that I am capable of improving, that there is hope even in these dark in-between moments. I can't really say that I fully believe that yet, but I guess my tunnel probably does have an exit, so I'll have to try and maintain the faith that one day I can reach it. I sip my morning coffee as I log into the system. Work has just begun and everyone still has sleepy expressions as usual. However, we're all nudged out of our drowsiness by a voice calling across the room.
Now then.
Good morning, everyone! Dad enters the room. Can I have your attention over here for a moment before we all get started? Oh. Is this what I think it is?
Ah.
Now, a very good point has been raised to me recently, and I've decided to take action. It's important that everyone at this company feels comfortable with each other and that you can all get along well as you work as a team. He's back. This is the Wish.com version of the boss. So, in the spirit of strengthening interpersonal relationships in the office, I've organized several events to bring you all together. It's also a reward for your positive efforts. Everyone glances excitedly between each other and I grin to myself.
All right.
For your section, I've arranged a day trip to a health and beauty spa on the outskirts of the city. You'll be able to take full advantage of all their services and enjoy some well-deserved downtime. Hopefully you'll have the opportunity to become closer as a team, too. The glances turn into energetic whispers at the news. Everyone seems super hyped for it.
Good job.
The trip will take place this Saturday. Of course, you don't have to attend if you don't want to. I'll be sending an email out with all the details, so just reply to that if you want to opt in. Of course, you don't have to enjoy the spa if you don't want to. It's just an offer for a free day in paradise. Just, you can say no. I'll let you get on with your day. I hope the break Try again. I hope the break does you all a world of good. He nods with his usual professional air, but as he turns to leave, he meets my eyes and shoots me a quick smile. Knowing exactly why he did it, I shoot one back. He emits a satisfied chuckle before striding away. I'd known this was coming. I'm the only person in our section that knew, and I've been keeping it a secret for a few days. We all sit back down at our desks, and naturally all everyone can talk about is the spa trip. They're all thrilled, and I'm glad. It's what the boss and I had hoped for. I carry on opening my files, keeping half an ear on the lively conversations around me. It's nice to hear some enthusiasm in the office for a change. At one point, I hear Ash excuse themselves from the chatter. I look across the room at them and they catch my eye. We share a small smile, and then to my surprise, they make a detour toward my desk.
Wow.
That was a surprise. I've never been to a spa before, but I'd kind of like to try it out, actually. Oh, that was a relief. I was worried that it wouldn't be Ash's type of thing.
Hey,
What about you? Are you into the idea? Oh, how little you know. I can tell you a secret about that. I say this with a sense of over-exaggerated mystery, beckoning them to come closer. Bemused, they lean in as I murmur quietly. I actually came up with the whole thing.
huh?
You did? You mean you asked the boss if we could go? Yeah, I basically pointed out that the team building day might be a good idea, and he agreed. We hardly ever do stuff like that here, so he thought it'd be good for company morale.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was nice of you to suggest it. Does anyone else know you were involved? Nope, just the boss and you. Sneaky.
That's so...
We grin at each other.
Well...
I guess I'd better get on with some work. I'm looking forward to going, though. It'll be nice to visit a place like that with you and the others. They smile as they start to walk away, but I hurriedly usher them back. Actually, there's something else. They shuffle back over, puzzled. I'm actually not going. As I expected, their mouth forms a perfectly perplexed O shape.
What?
Why not? If it was your idea. Okay, time to reveal the real secret. Will you sit down for a minute? This is kind of between us. They dash across the room and roll their own chair up to my desk. So, I guess I've been reflecting a lot recently on everything. My self-improvement, the discussions we've had, the things I learned from the book. I kind of acknowledged that there is some hope for me, and I wanted to come up with a way to challenge that positively. Prove to myself and you that I can make progress. I suggested this ball trip to the boss so that everyone could go and have a great time together without me. It'd give you a chance to enjoy something you don't normally get to do and carry on becoming better friends with everyone. Plus, you deserve a treat. My face grows red. And obviously, it'd give me another chance to actually learn to be okay with you spending time with others away from me. Hopefully, I can redeem myself from what happened last time. Ash seems taken aback, and I give them a moment to comprehend what I've said. It is pretty bold of me, but I just want to start making real progress.
That's not...
You don't need to go to such lengths, though. Well, everyone here deserves a mini vacation. Plus, no one else knows I was behind it, so it's cool. It's not really about me.
No.
No, Skull.
I think so.
It is about you. And it's really promising. I love that you went to such an effort to create an opportunity for growth and improvement, and that you did it with such a nice gesture for everyone. I really admire that. Their face glows with approval, and it makes my chest tingle. I'm so glad they see my determination. Well, don't praise me yet. I haven't overcome the challenge yet. If I manage it, maybe I'll accept a compliment. I smirk and Ash giggles quietly.
You're awesome.
You already deserve a compliment. Only a good person would do something like this. For the first time since that awful night, Ash leans in and hugs me. It's only brief and not super intimate, but it totally pulls me over. They smile bashfully at me before growing serious again.
Can I ask?
I do kind of want to ask, though. Aren't you worried about me being in that kind of environment with other people? It is a spa, and we'll be, wearing swimsuits and getting massages and stuff. Oh, God. Trust me, I've already run that lovely scenario through my mind about 1,000,000 times. I'm definitely worried. Thanks for the reminder. I don't want to be that asshole who basically says, no, you're not allowed to wear a swimsuit in front of anyone but me. But of course, that kind of thing is on my mind. I'm not sure whether admitting it would just enable my toxic ways, though. Maybe I should aim to be more positive instead. Oh, come on. Nah, don't do this to me. More choices. Come on! Really? I thought we were past that, man. That is so disappointing. Please tell me this is one of those where it doesn't matter. Because I'm about to brush it off. Nah, forget about it. My paranoia isn't important. I need to learn to ignore it. Ash regards me hesitantly.
Well...
I appreciate you trying to be strong about that, but maybe you shouldn't just shun your feelings so quickly. Oh, I'd expected more of a pleased reaction. I'm no expert, obviously, but I personally feel like shoving your insecurities aside like that might not help you as much as you think. That controlling side of you will probably feel attacked or cast out, wouldn't it? That might make your paranoia worse. But if you accept your feelings and try to reason with them calmly, then that side of you might calm down. I didn't think of that, but I guess they're right.
I think so.
Just my opinion, anyway. No, it makes sense. Thanks for the insight. Why do I never feel like I learn anything? I should have realized that trying to just kick my anxiety out with no self-compassion would be a bad idea. It's never worked before, so why would it work now? Seems to still be going fine, though. I better take this advice to heart. Ash nods, standing up and grabbing the back of their seat. Yeah, better stop yapping and start working.
It's alright.
I know this is going to feel difficult for you, so we can chat about it the night before if you want, just to try to soothe some of your worries. I'd like that. Thanks. We gaze at each other with a mixture of tension and unity. Ah, thank you. Wait, there's still more? Great. This trip will cause us both a fair amount of uncertainty, but I'm really hoping we can get through to the other side in a positive way. Anyway, go get set up. You're going to have a great time at the spa, so just think about that for now. Ash's smile widens a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Talk to you later. They head back to their desk, and I stare at my computer screen distractedly. I just sped through that by accident. This is going to something. Can I go back one? This is going to be rough, but the wheels are in motion, and I'm going to attempt to roll with them. Well, we have come to the end of the stream, so let me go ahead and save right there, so I remind myself which choice I made. We still got more decisions? Great. Well, we'll figure that out next week. We're nearing the end of Ash's route. Overall, Skull's an idiot. Skull's an idiot. Lives true to his name. Next stream, I'll finish Ash's route. Yeah, and if there's enough time, I'm going to start a different one, too. I want to get through every single one of these characters with one good ending, if I can. So this is going to take a while for me to get through. That's good. That's on purpose. I love having long games to play through on Sundays. Well, I had fun today. Really, really interesting to see Idiot Skull's psyche. It does look like they're improving, which is great. I'm glad to see that they are actually making an improvement. And I swear to God, if this is some kind of a trap, I'm going to throw a fit. But I don't think it is. I really do think that Idiot Skull is graduating to Moron Skull. And maybe at some point they'll even turn out to be okay Skull. My absolute pleasure, Borealis. Please keep making visual novels for me to play on Sundays, because that would be awesome. I played through Venus, had fun. I'm playing through this, having fun. Well, that brings the stream to an end. Thank you to Borealis for making the game and for being here. Thank you to Dimlord for being here. And Andrea popped in as well. Shout out to the lurkers and shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. I'll be back next Sunday to continue my playthrough of True Colors, A Date with Deception. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.